Okay, so aggregate planning looks at the following. Okay, so we have the number of workers required in production hours required, the number of workers hired, the number of workers laid off, the production units required, the overtime units. Of course, we will also talk about the subcontracting units, the stockout units, and of course, we have two strategies that are involved in aggregate planning. Okay, so the first strategy is called the chess strategy or matching demand. So chess strategy or matching demand. So this is a strategy where the firm varies the size of workforce in order to have a production rate that matches demand. So the firm varies the size of workforce simply by hiring and laying off workers. So as a result, the firm incurs hiring and laying off costs. So the costs of the chess strategy, a hiring cost and laying off costs. So for this strategy, the firm produces the exact units required to meet demand. There is no inventory, holding cost, or carrying cost, all right, unless there is the aspect of the safety stock. So unless the firm has a safety stock. So chess strategy is used when the firm does not maintain the size of workforce. The following costs are involved in the chess strategy. So the first one is hiring cost. Then we have also the layoff cost. And the other one is the straight time cost. So these are the three costs of the chess strategy. So we have the hiring cost, the layoff cost, as well as the straight time cost. So straight time cost is production hours multiplied by the cost per hour, or it's a production units multiplied by the cost per unit. So here the firm does not incur the following costs. There is no subcontracting cost. There is no overtime cost. There is no stock out cost. And of course, there is no carrying cost unless the firm has safety stock. The reason why the firm does not incur the above costs is because they would have either hired or laid off workers. Okay, so they would have either hired or laid off workers, and they would have actually incurred hiring or layoff costs. Okay, so this is it, why we are talking about the okay, so this is only the chess strategy. So the chess strategy, we are simply talking about the strategy where you are varying workforce by hiring and laying off workers. Okay. Then the other strategy is a pure labor strategy. So pure labor strategy is a strategy where the firm maintains steady workforce and the production. They do not want to hire or fire workers. So there is no inventory, there is no hiring and laying of costs for this strategy. So if the firm cannot produce to meet demand, they can incur either overtime cost, subcontracting cost, or the stock out cost. So this is it on the aspect of the pure labor strategy. So if the company has constant workers who cannot produce to meet demand, then they can incur either of the above costs. They cannot incur all the costs at the same time, but they can only incur either of the above costs. So our pure labor strategy is equal to summation of demand minus beginning stock over number of periods. Are we together so far? Are you following me?
Yes.
So you have to distinguish between the the two strategies, right? Are we together? So the pure labor strategy is equal to summation of demand minus beginning stock over number of periods. So here we cannot produce what is already there. Okay, we cannot produce what is we already have. That's why we are subtracting the beginning stock in the formula. Okay, so for pure labor strategy, the firm should choose the cheapest mode among the three provisions, either overtime, subcontracting, or stock out cost. They cannot incur all the costs at the same time. That is overtime, subcontracting, or stock out, because they need to choose which is cheaper among the three provisions. So labor production is equal to what? Summation of demand minus beginning stock over number of what? Number of periods. That's how you get the labor production. Okay, I'm sure we are together so far. So you need to understand chess, what chess means. So chess strategy, what is involved in this strategy is that you are hire and fire. So you hire and fire. So, and the costs that are involved here, like I mentioned, we have the the hiring cost, the layoff cost, and the straight time cost. So straight time cost is also called regular production cost. So straight time cost is also called regular production cost. So when you have straight time cost is the same as the same as regular production cost, regular cost. So these are the aspects that you need to understand. Okay, so we now get down to we now get down to the question from the pamphlet. Okay. So the question from the pamphlet is on this one. You can read the question for us so that we see what is going to happen here. Now, before anything else, I need to emphasize that for the two strategies, the level strategy, okay? I don't know, have you understood what the level strategy is all about? What does level strategy imply? What does level strategy imply?
I just came in, if I may. I do not know what's going on, apart from the fact that we're doing the aggregate thing.
All right, so we are still so looking at the aggregate planning where we simply say, so planning where we look at the number of workers required in production. Production hours required, the number of workers hired, number of workers laid off, the production units required, overtime units. Then there are two strategies. There's a chase strategy. Okay, so it's a chase strategy. Okay, so we look at the study where we film various size of workforce. Okay, simply by um, varying workforce by hiring and laying of workers. As a result, the film incurs hiring and laying of costs. So this is what the test strategy is all about. So the costs of the test strategy are hiring costs, lay of costs, and the straight time cost. And the straight time cost, the production hours multiplied by cost per hour, or production units multiplied by cost per unit. So the firm does not want to subcontract. They are not interested in subcontracting. Whatever they want, they can hire as many workers as possible. Okay, or there's no inventory carrying cost unless the firm has safety stock. So the reason why the firm does not incur these above costs, these ones, because they would have either hired or laid off workers, okay, and incurred the hiring or laying of costs. Then a pure level strategy. What's a pure level strategy? Pure level is a strategy where the firm maintains steady workforce and production. They do not want to hire or fire workers. There is no hiring and laying of costs. If the firm cannot produce to meet the demand, they can incur either of the above costs. Okay? That is for the pure level strategy. So they can incur overtime cost, they can incur subcontracting cost, they can incur stock out cost. Okay, if the company has a constant workforce, these workers who cannot produce to meet demand, then they can incur either of the above costs. Okay, so they cannot incur all the listed costs at the same time because they can only incur either of them. Then pure level strategy is equal to summation of demand minus beginning stock. So summation of demand minus beginning stock divided by number of periods. So this is how you get the pure level production. Summation of demand minus beginning stock over number of periods. Okay. So here we cannot produce what we already have. That's why we are subtracting the beginning stock, the formula above, because what is already there is already there. So you just need to know what extra you can produce apart from what is already there. Okay, so we now move on to the example. The example is this one here. So let's look at this example. You can read the example for us, this question for us, so that we can be together here. If you're able to see it, you can read this question for us.
Let me read. Sunshare Limited produces a variety of furniture products. The operations manager wants to prepare an aggregate plan for the next 5 months. Demand forecast as given below. So under months we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then under demand we have 150, 170, 180, 160, and another 160.
Okay.
Cost of production pay. I stop there?
No, continue until you finish.
Okay. Cost of production per unit using regular time is $50. Using overtime, it is $75, and using subcontracting, it is $80. Inventory holding cost per unit per period is $5. Back order cost is $60 per unit. Hiring cost is $150 per worker. Firing cost is $200. It's just $200 per worker.
Supposed to be $200.
Currently, there are $200. Okay. Currently, there are 12 workers and each can produce 15 units per period. Workers can be hired or fired because maybe this is the chase. But at most, only 12 workers can be on the row. Overtime capacity is 30 units per period and subcontracting capacity is 10 units per period. Beginning inventory is 0. No back order is allowed at the end of the 5th month. When computing numbers of workers needed, make sure you round the number up to a whole number. A. Develop an aggregate plan using a chase strategy and determine the cost. B. Develop an aggregate plan using a level strategy and determine the cost. C. Which plan should be used?
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so it's very clear. You know the current workforce, so there are 12 workers. These are cardinal points. One person is able to produce 15 units. Then, whichever way, workers can be hired or fired, but at most, there can be 12 workers on the row. What does it, the at most mean? At most means that you cannot exceed the 12 workers in a given period or month. When you tell somebody to say, come at most 10 hours, if he comes at 10:05, we will not find you there. He's late for interviews. The least time we can come, at most 10. So at most 10, 12 workers there. Then the other information which is very important here is that you need to understand what back order is all about. Back order means the stock out cost. So no back order is allowed at the end of the 5th month. So you shouldn't say that you don't have stock in the 5th month. Allow me to take you back a little bit. When we are talking about the level strategy, an example, level strategy, we simply say this is a strategy where we will maintain workforce and we will maintain production. So what does it mean? You don't want to vary workforce. You want to maintain workers. Okay, so that they can have a plan. Okay, not when you tell them no, you let them know for them to come for work. No. So under this strategy, you maintain a steady workforce and production. You don't want to hire or fire them. So now what happens if the firm cannot produce to meet demand, if the constant workforce cannot produce to meet demand, what happens? You can allow overtime. Okay, so you can allow overtime. You can tell the 12 workers, if you have 12 workers or 20 workers, you can tell them not to knock off and you pay them for overtime, pay them overtime. Okay? That's option one. If you can't, if company policy doesn't allow overtime, tell them to knock off. They go home. Then you give somebody else who can do that job for you, which means you can incur subcontracting. Then the other aspect that you can talk about here is where now you cannot allow overtime and you cannot subcontract. You can just be honest enough and declare that you don't have stock and incur the cost of losing business, which is what we call the stock out cost. You just declare to your customers that you don't have the stock. Okay? Just declare to the customers that you don't have the stock and you incur the cost of losing business. That is what we call the back order cost. Back order cost or stock out cost, the cost of losing our business. Okay, so these are the three options you can choose, but we choose which one is cheap among the three. Is that clear?
Yes.
So you will choose which one is cheap among the three. Overtime, like per unit, let's say overtime is $80. Then subcontracting is also maybe $75. Then the stock out cost or back order cost, if it is $60, which one would you think you can go for here? Which one can you choose as an individual? Because the objective of everything else is to minimize the expenditure. So which one can you go for?
Stock out cost.
Yes, because it's cheap among the three provisions. So if those workers cannot produce to meet demand, it's better you just declare that you don't have stock and incur the cost of losing business, which is called the stock out cost. Okay, so that's what goes on. So so what I'm trying to say in short here is that if the company has constant workers who cannot produce to meet demand, then they can either incur their bulk costs. They cannot incur all of them at the same time, but cannot incur either of them. So how would you look at the level production? Level production is equal to summation of demand minus beginning stock, then divide by the number of periods. Okay.
Can I ask
So
a question?
you go ahead.
This formula that you're giving us, demand minus beginning stock over number of periods, is it going to work the same as the formula that we've been doing in class for ending inventory is equals to beginning inventory plus production requirements minus demand?
No, this formula is totally different. This one we are looking at level production. That formula is for finding ending inventory. The one we're from talking about is the one we're finding. We're finding the ending inventory. But here we're trying to find our level production. How would you get the level? Okay, how would you get our production when the production is not there? Not the closing stock. But what you're trying to do is find our what? Our production. Are you with me now?
Okay.
So this is when you're finding our production. So our production will be equal to you produce on a level basis. So summation of demand for the period minus beginning stock divided by number of periods. This is on finding the production. The formula for finding the ending stock. Okay, so when you're finding the ending stock, so ending stock is equal to beginning stock. So it's beginning to beginning stock, then plus production. Have you seen my whiteboard here? Minus demand. This formula is for ending stock. You get the point, right? This formula is for ending stock, not for production. But how would you get this production? How would you get this production here on a level basis? How would you get this production? This is our production. How would you get this production? Level production on a level basis. Okay, so level production is equal to what?
Demand.
Total demand.
Okay, total demand.
Total demand, then minus beginning stock,
Beginning, yeah, inventory, yeah.
then divide by number of periods. Number of periods. You understand what I mean by this one? So this is how you get the level production. Your production, you got summation of total demand minus beginning stock divided by number of periods. You understand now this one? Is it clear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is what goes on this kind of arrangement. So this is why the labor aspect of labor production becomes this way. Labor production is what summation of demand minus beginning stock over number of what? Number of periods. Okay. So since you have read this question here, we can start solving now. So we can see the demand that we have here. The regular production is $50, overtime is 25, subcontracting is 80, and back order is 60, an example. We've seen the units, right? You've seen the units?
Yes.
So the back order units we have. So the back order cost is $60. The hiring cost is $150. Firing cost is $200. And ordering cost is $5. So this is what they want us to examine a chess strategy. So the solution comes here. It's the same question here. So what's our beginning stock? Beginning stock is 0. You can see from here, beginning stock is what? 0 units, not so.
There. Yes.
Okay. So now what goes on here is that since our beginning stock is 0 units, we are going to now solve. This is how the solution is supposed to be. So the format, so chess strategy of matching demand. So we are matching demand. So what are we having in mind? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's beginning inventory.
Beginning inventory is 0. So what's our production? Produce to meet demand. Chess means what? What does chess represent? Chess is the strategy where the firm varies size of workforce. Not the production rate that matches demand. Production rate that matches what? Demand. So here, what's our demand for the first month? Tell me the demand is what?
150.
What is our beginning stock?
0.
So what are we going to produce?
And then we're supposed to divide by the number of periods, which is 5.
What are you saying? I told you to say chess strategy you produce it according to demand. The level strategy is the one that you produce using this formula here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There are two strategies here. You have told me clearly that we are looking at question 1. European aggregate using chess. For now, we are using chess strategy. Chess. So if you go to chess, madam, you told me that I told you to say chess strategy is a strategy where you vary workforce in order to have a production rate that matches demand. So you produce as a demand for chess. Chess will produce as a demand. We match the demand. We are not yet into the level. So here you're going to produce the 150 units. Since you have nothing, you have no units here, you have 0. You're going to produce to meet demand. So what you are going to produce will be 150 units. I don't know if you understand my point now.
Yes, I get it.
So In month 2, you will produce to match the demand. So this one and this one. Okay, now my question is, if the opening stock was the 20 units here, if the opening stock was 20 units, we would have produced how many? If this was 20, you would have produced how many?
150.
No, we have produced 130.
Mm.
If we are at the 20 units here, already 20. So what are we going to produce? You are going to produce just to meet the demand. So if it's 20 here, we're going to produce a 130 so that it becomes 150 and clear them. I don't know if it's clear.
Yes.
So under share strategy, you are producing to meet the demand. So if you already have something that you have there, you look at what's the difference. The difference is what you produce so that you meet the demand. So here you produce 150 because there was a zero here. Okay, so there was a zero here, it was a zero. So you produce the 150 here. So here you're going to produce a 170. Then the other one will produce how many units? 180.
180.
You produce 180 because you're matching the demand. Produce this and that. I'm sure you get the point now, the logic. Okay? Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, one person is producing how many units? From the question, you read here, you say one person is producing how many units? One person is producing how many units? How many units is one person producing?
60.
How many units is one person producing? How many units is one person producing? Madam, you read here 15 units,
50.
yes. Meaning that as we come here, one person is able to produce 15 units. So you divide it to find how many people you require to produce all these. So that's why we are dividing by 15, by 15, by 15, by 15, by 15, so that you find how many workers are there. I'm sure it's clear, no, not so. Is that okay now? Is that clear to get the number of workers here? Hello?
It is.
Thank you, it is. So you're dividing each of these ones. This is the total production. Now, one person is producing, an example, it's a simple arithmetic here. One person, one work, is able to produce how many units? 15. Okay? So you have one worker is able to produce 15 units. Now, to produce how many workers will be required to produce 150 units? So you start dividing, not so.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how you're getting these ones. So you're dividing, you're getting these values. So these are number of workers. So the current workforce, we had how many workers? 12 workers. But why have we found 10? The current workforce, we had how many workers? 12 workers. But why have we found 10 workers? You can give me a small answer, a simple answer. Why have we found 10 workers here? What does it mean?
Maybe because they're the ones needed to meet the
No,
demand.
Yes,
production.
what you are very right. These are the ones needed to meet the demand, but meaning that would have laid off 2 workers.
Yes, because we're allowed to hire and fire, but not exceed 12.
So, but we are the current workforce. How many workers did we have? Current workforce was how many? 12 workers. You've seen there. Currently we are 12 workers, but here we have found 10 workers. So what does it mean? It means that we laid off 2 workers. We laid off 2 workers. Is that clear?
Yes.
So we laid off 2 workers. So forget about the 12. So now here, from 10 to 12, what has happened now in month 2? What has happened in month 2? Tell me. Month 2, what
We
has
have
happened?
hired.
We have had 2 workers here. Workers hired is 2 workers. So we have had 2 workers here. Okay, so we have had 2 workers here. Then between months 3 and 4 here, what has happened? There is a 12 that has been maintained, right?
Yes.
So we have what has happened? There is no hiring and laying off. See, 0. Workers hired, 0. Number of workers laid off, 0. So the hiring cost, how much is the hiring cost? From the question, how much is our hiring cost? Our hiring cost is 150, not so.
150 per week.
So you have to do what? You multiply. You are going to have now what you are going to have is you multiply 2 that we have hired. So 2 by 150. So we are going to have 2 by 150 here. We are going to have a 300 in this week. Then here, for the week month 4 and 5, we have maintained workforce, no hiring and no laid off. All right, we've seen what I mean. But we have just fired in from month 3 to month 4, we fired 1 person, right?
Yes.
We fired 1 person here. Number of workers laid off in 1. Laying off cost is 200. So 200 times this is giving us that. 1 times 200 is 200. The total is 600 here. So this is the total what? So 600 is what? What is our 600? The total laid off cost, 600. The hiring cost is 300. So there are only 3 costs of this strategy, like I mentioned to you. I said for the chase strategy, we have 3 costs that are involved. Which ones are those? Hiring cost, layoff cost, and regular cost. Hiring, layoff, and regular cost. Now, they have told us to say the cost of production using regular time is what? Give me what is the cost of production using regular time? From me, a cost of production using regular time is how many? How much?
$150.
The unit. Cost of production per unit using regular time, $50. So you come and start multiplying now here. So you multiply, okay? So we're going to multiply what? 50 by production. So 50 by 150, 170 by 50, 180 by 50, 160 by 50, 160 by 50. So the total is giving us 41,000. Do you know where 41,000 is coming from? Complement. That will see where the 41,000 is coming from. You're multiplying by production unit. So just confirm with me before you proceed. 41,000 where it's coming from, you can thank you. So this is where we have gotten those ones. So you're multiplying those figures by the production units. Okay, so our production units, we have those ones. 150 by that one, then the other one by that one. So this is why we are getting these ones. So it's 41,000. So you have this one, this one. So our total cost of this strategy will be what? You add now. It will give us 41,900. Okay. What are we getting? 41,900. Is it clear when you add this?
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting $41,900. So you're adding which ones and which ones? You can see which ones are we adding?
300,
Uh-huh.
600, the 41,000 for regular cost.
Okay, thank you. So we now move on to the other one. The other one is level strategy. So this is 41,900. Then pure level strategy, you use it. Now we are answering B.
Before we move on,
Mhm.
are there questions where the costs, maybe different costs, have to be added, except from these three that you've given us: hiring, layoff cost, and regular cost?
Mm-hmm. What's the question?
My question is that in other different questions, are there any other costs that are there except from these three? These three costs you've given us are the costs that mostly appear under the chase strategy.
Correct. Strategy. These are the major costs, the only major costs that you expect there on the chase.
Okay.
Let's go to the level production. Level production now. Estimation of demand minus beginning stock over number of periods. So estimation of demand. So demand coming from various sources. Estimation of demand minus beginning stock over number of periods. So this is the formula here. So you're getting the 164 units. So these are the units that you are getting. Okay, 164 units. So number of workers required in this case will be 164 units. And one worker is able to produce what? One worker, how many units, madam? One worker is how many units? You can see that one worker is producing how many units? One worker is producing 15 units. Are you there?
Oh, I was muted. Yes.
One worker is how many units? 15 units. Level, what's the level production units?
164.
Yeah. So how many workers do you require from there?
Divide
164 divided by what?
by 15.
When we are getting how many units?
There's a point, 10.9.
Which is it? You round up to the whole number, not down. So even if it was 10.2, you round up to 11.
Oh, okay.
You get my point? So this is what we have. So we come to this strategy now and say demand beginning stock is 0. Our production on a level basis, we are producing how many units? 164, right? So we're producing 164 units on the level ground. So 164 on the level ground means what now? Means that you use the formula now here. Which formula are we going to use? Our ending stock is equal to beginning stock plus production minus the demand. So ending stock is equal to beginning stock plus production minus the demand. Okay. Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the ending stock for a period is the beginning stock for the next period. Ending stock for a period is equal to opening stock in the next period. You get my point, eh?
Yes.
Opening stock for next period. So from here, what are we saying? So you're simply saying our beginning stock is 0 plus production minus demand. What are we going to remain with? What answer are we remaining with? What answer are we remaining with, madam?
Oh, sorry. 164 minus 150. 14.
So this is the 14 that you can see here. Okay, this is the 14 that you can see here. Now this 14, what happens to it? It's a beginning stock in the next period. You understand, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's a beginning stock in this period. So beginning stock plus production minus the demand. So what are we going to end with in the other week? We're going to end with what?
We're going to end with 8.
We're going to end with 8, which is this 8. So this 8 is physically there, physically there, physically there. You have it there in your warehouse. So it's
Mm-hmm.
opening stock here. 8 plus 164, how much are you remaining with?
-8.
So this negative 8, you carry forward this negative. It comes here. Negative 8 plus 164 gives us what?
-4.
Negative 4. So this negative 4 is here. Negative 4 plus 164 minus that one. So meaning these negatives, they are backlogs. You don't have them because on the local ground, you're producing 164 units with a current workforce of 11 workers. So those people are failing to match the demand. And what did I tell you when they fail to match the demand? You can either allow them to do what? Work overtime or do what?
Subcontract.
And which other one? Stock out cost.
About cost.
Stock out cost. Cost of losing business. Cost of losing what? Business. So you check which one. So
Business.
you decide what you're going to do with these negatives. These ones. You decide what you're going to do with these negatives. But one thing I can tell is that 14 is okay and 8. These are physically there. So you're going to incur for these, you're going to incur what we call holding cost. What is the holding cost? The storage cost. The storage cost is what? Holding cost is how much?
Holding cost is $5
Holding cost is
per period.
$5 per period. So
Holding.
you multiply now this one by $5. So here it will be 70. Here it will be, yeah, yes, there's an and there. For those who are joining in and out, it's very difficult for you to understand because of This way. Yes, madam. There's a hand there.
I'm very sorry. My network had cut. So just
Yes, Madam Chipo. Yes, Madam Chipo. Hello, Madam Chipo. Okay, so whatever you are doing here, your production is this formula here.
Sir, an amount of unit.
Pardon?
But if you sorry.
Yes, Madam Chipo, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So under level strategy, since we have a constant workforce, you find that sometimes if you want to produce a certain number of production and then you are short with workers.
All right, so whatever is happening here, yes, Madam, I'm sure you can get me now. Whatever is happening here is that for level strategy, you just looking at
to good level is equals to demand minus beginning inventory or stock over the number of periods that you are working with. So that's your beginning thing. You first find your production units by using that formula. Since we're using the same formula, we already given demand. If you remember that other small table that is in the question, we were given demand, and in the question we were given inventory, which was 0 in the question. So we just calculated 150 minus 0 over the number of periods to find the 164.
no, in fact, we added all these ones to sum of demand.
Oh yeah.
So the sum of
Sorry.
demand, we added 150 demand for that period, 150, 180, 160, and this other one.
Minus
0 divided by, so it was 164 units. So the 164 units, so the lower production units. The number of workers required is 164 divided by 15, which was 10.9, 11 workers. Okay. So from 11 workers, Madam, are you following now? Excuse me, are you following now?
Oh.
I'm talking about Madam. The other Madam asked the question. Okay, so
yes, I'm following.
Okay, so the recording will be shared.
Yes.
Let's just adjust. Your network keeps going on and off. Yeah, so this is what is happening. So now we have the level strategy, okay, on under this one. So meaning for week number one, we had the formula here is that our ending stock is equal to opening stock plus production minus demand. Madam Chief, are you there now?
Yes, sorry, I received a call.
Yeah, no problem. So now here, what is going to happen is, yeah, okay, so now what is happening here is that you can clearly notice that in this level strategy, I want the other madam to participate because she's telling me that she's actually very behind on this one. Madam, where are you? Where can I pick it up from? The other madam, please. Are you following me now?
Yes, I'm following.
Okay, where are you behind? Are you now getting somewhere where we are?
Yes, I have known.
You have what? Yes, madam.
Where those 164 are coming from. So those.
Yes, continue. You know where 164 is coming from?
Yes, I know where 164 is coming from.
So this 164 is coming from summation of demand minus beginning stock divided by number of periods. Now, to find the labor workforce, you say 164 divided by 15, and you are getting what? You are getting 10.9. So 10.9 is approximately 11. So they said when finding the number of workers, you round up to the whole number. You round up to the whole number. You round up, not down. You round up. Even if it's 10.9, 10.5, you round up to the whole number. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank
So
you.
what about if it's not given in the question?
Not even the question. If it's 10.2, you just take it, it's 10. Yeah, we use a threshold to use it. Unless you get 10.5. 10.5 is 11. You get my point, right? Is that clear? So now,
Yes.
when you come here, I was trying to explain something that our ending stock is equal to beginning stock plus production minus demand. Ending stock is equal to beginning stock plus production minus demand. So ending stock is equal to opening stock plus production minus the demand. This is how you get there. This is how you use the formula for our ending stock. Ending stock is equal to beginning stock plus production minus what? Demand. Is that clear?
Yes, it is clear.
So the ending stock for a period is a beginning stock for the next period. So this is why we have, in this other one, we have here, our demands are these demands. These are demands that came from the same question. These are figures that are from the same question. These are demands from the same question. So then your beginning stock is 0. So a beginning stock is usually added to production. Like I mentioned to say, our ending stock is equal to beginning stock plus production minus demand. This is how you get the ending stock. Ending stock is equal to beginning stock plus production minus what? The demand. Okay? I'm sure that is clear with you. So you add here, opening stock is 0 plus the production. So 0 plus 164. What answer are we getting? What is 0 plus 164? Do you know why we're adding 0 plus 164? So do you know why we're adding 0 plus 164? Hello? You understand why we're adding 0 plus 164?
I think her network is bad.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, all right, no problem. Madam, are you understanding why we're getting 0 plus 164?
Yes.
0 plus 164 is 164 minus the demand of 150 remain with 14. 14, the opening stock. 14 plus 164 minus 170 is 8. 8 comes as beginning stock. 8 plus 164 minus demand, negative 8. Negative 8 plus 164 minus 160 is negative 4. Negative 4 plus 164 minus 160, the answer is 0. So physically, we are holding 14 units times $5 per unit holding cost. $5 per unit holding cost, which is given in the question. So this is how we are getting the 70. Okay. So 70 here, 8 times the 5 is 40. So the total holding cost. Do you understand what's the other term for holding cost? Who can tell me what's the other term for holding cost? Holding cost is also called what? Holding cost is also called what?
Is it carrying cost?
Yes. So holding cost and carrying cost are one and the same thing. Holding cost is also called carrying cost. Holding costs and carrying costs are one and the same thing.
Mm,
Okay.
Colin, you jumped the back order cost, or maybe I just didn't hear what you said on the back order cost. So the negatives, they just disappear?
No, negatives haven't disappeared. Those units are units that we are going now to see what we can do with them. You know what I mean? I haven't forgotten about them. Okay.
Okay.
So these negatives tell me we have three options that we can do because we are using the constant production and constant workforce. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Are we together? Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. The eight, this eight, we can either allow, okay, these are 11 workers who cannot meet the demand. So there are three options that we can do. What is option one? What did we say? Option one, under level strategy, we said what? There are three options that
Subcontract.
so let's come here under pure level strategy. What we do about under pure level? We said if the firm was workforce who cannot maintain, who cannot produce to meet demand, then they do not want to hire and fire under our pure level strategy. They have maintained workforce. So what can we do? They can allow overtime, they can subcontract or incur the cost of losing business, which is the stock out cost, right? Because stock out cost is also called what's the other term for stock out cost? Back order cost. Back order. Back order what? Back order cost. Are we together?
Mm-hmm.
You understand the term back order cost? Back order cost. They are the same as the stock out cost. Okay, so this one, let's check which is cheaper. Now here, you read what is happening. It says, okay, the cost of production using shunt is $50, overtime is $75, subcontracting is $80. So which one is cheaper among the three provisions here? The regular production is you can't run away from it. It's there, but the three provision are overtime, subcontracting, and back order. So which one is cheaper among the three? Which one is cheaper? Tell me, please tell me, Madam Chipo.
Mm.
Which one is cheaper here?
Back order cost is 660, which is the back order cost, is cheaper
Yeah.
than the subcontracting and the overtime.
Yeah, this is what I wanted you to tell me. Thank you very much. So this is what we are going to do. So these units that are negatives, we'll just declare that we don't have stock. Tell that we just tell it, just we don't have stock. It's cheaper. That's why you're going to have a back order cost. You've seen this row here. This row. You've seen this row with the one of second here.
Mm-hmm.
So in this week, you're going to have the back order cost will be how many units? It's 60 times 8, which is this one.
Mm-hmm.
60 times 8. Then this other one will be 4 times 60. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? 4 times 60. So the total back order cost is giving us what?
720.
Thank you. So the back order cost is 720. Okay, so 720 is the total back order cost. Then our carrying cost is 110. You know where the 110 is coming from, right? You physically add 14 and we had 8 here, right? On the physical stocks, those were physically there, not so. You get my point, right? Those ones were there. Is that clear?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So carrying stock is more like the cost for keeping inventory.
Yes, so this is what I was trying to tell you to say. This, the aspect of you understanding. This is aggregate planning we are doing. This is aggregate planning we are doing. But in aggregate planning, there are other terminologies that come from inventory management. Okay, so like holding cost, carrying cost. Carrying cost is the same as the storage cost. You are paying for warehousing salaries and wages, insurance of stock against fire, spoilage of inventory. Those are holding costs. You know, what you are keeping in the warehouse can go bad. You know, especially when you're keeping perishable goods. You understand what I mean, right?
Yes.
So so that is what goes on. So that is holding cost. Okay, unless you want us after this one, we do another topic called inventory management. If you're not tired, no problem. So let's move on. Then regular cost. What is the regular cost? I told you to say regular cost is also called what? Straight time cost. Straight, okay? Straight time cost is also called uh, regular cost. Are we together? Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
Straight time cost is also called what? Regular cost. So I mentioned to you that straight time cost, regular cost, the formula is equal to production units multiplied by cost per units. Or production hours multiplied by cost per hour. I don't know if you see these ones, right? These ones here. Straight time cost. The same as production units multiplied by cost per unit to production hours multiplied by cost per hour. Is that clear? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we are finishing up this one shortly. So you are going to multiply now. How many units are you producing?
164.
But what is the cost of production using regular time? The cost of production.
Was it 50?
Hey, it's 50 years. You are very right. Don't compromise. You are very right. You are right about it. So it is $50. That is the cost of production using regular time. Okay. So regular time simply means an example. I can give you a practical example of regular time for a match. It's 90 minutes, but we can go into extra time. So regular time is a time that you're supposed to work. If it's 8 hours, 8 hours. After the regular time, you now decide to go either in overtime or overtime is not there. They can subcontract or you're talking about other genders. You get my point, right? Okay, I'm sure it's clear now. So you are getting the 41,000. So 164 times 50 is 8,200. So you're getting the 8,200 throughout, 8,200, 8,200 throughout these ones. So you're getting 41,000. Okay, so 41,000 comes here. So the total cost will be what? Back order cost, the carrying cost, and the regular cost. Then don't forget that. What was the current workforce? Tell me, the current workforce was how many units? How many workers?
There were 12. Current.
Tw-
There were 12.
12
Mhm.
workers. The madam has gone quiet. I'm sure she'll be able to catch up with us. There were 12 workers, but how come from the
I but I'm back.
yeah, no problem. But I'm sure you are following. So there were Here we found how many workers on a regular basis. We have 11 workers on a regular basis, right? So meaning what happens from the 12 workers, then we calculated how many workers on a regular basis, 11 workers. So what did we do? Tell me, Madam Chief, assist me. What did we do?
I don't know if you can call it layoff. We laid off one.
So what happened here? We laid off one guy and then maintained the 11. That's what we did as management. You get my point, right?
Yes.
So we laid off one worker and maintained the 11 workers. So this is for this reason that we have even a layoff cost of 200. So meaning the total cost of this plan will be 720. You know where it's coming from, right? The 110, do you know where it's coming from? What is 110?
The 110 we got it from the carrying cost or the storage cost.
Carrying cost and storage cost are the same. Also, the other term we use is holding cost.
Yes.
Then we have the regular cost of 8,200, but this is 41,000 actually. The total of regular cost is 41,000. Okay, you get the point, right?
Because we added for 5 periods.
So this is 41,000. So for 41,000 is now giving us so you have 41,000 here. And then adding these other ones, 41,110 and this one, it's giving us 42,000. So meaning that you compare now, since they had 12 workers and remained with 11 workers, they mean that we fired one. So you compare the cost of the chase strategy. The cost was 41,900, right? For the chase, 41,900. And then that of the level, we have how many workers? This is the cost. The cost was 41,900. And then this other one, we have what are we
42.
having? We have how much?